What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG coming at you today to bring you the last tier list in Demons. I decided to shut off the green screen. It was getting a little fuzzy on me last time, so we are just going to leave it off for this video. But before we get into that, we are so ever close to the goal of 650 for the giveaway, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, it is up and running. And if you're not part of the XMG family, become part of that family. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, blah, 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 blah. So let's get into the last tier list, starting off with Demons and Shadar. Here's Shadar. Looking at Shadar, he is a fighter, mage, demon slayer, and a leader. So looking at his move kit, Shadar deals 260 magic damage and inflicts an armor decrease for 2 turns. Pretty good. Damage is decent, like how it has the armor decrease. So his basic is doing more than just a basic. Power of Earth deals 460 magic damage and stuns the target for 1 turn. So again, we have the potency tenacity check of just 1, but stunning a target, absolutely phenomenal, with impressive amount of damage. Earth Armor, he gains an armor increase and debuff immunity for 2 turns and restores 50% turn meter to all allies. This move is just awesome. Completely just fantastic. I mean, giving all allies 50% turn meter, awesome. Increases his plug and play viability substantially. His passive ability increases his magic damage by 10% for each living demon in the party. All in all, I mean, it's low at 10%, but for each living demon, that really hurts his plug and play viability, though. Takes it down just a notch because you don't put him with demons and you essentially remove his whole passive. But if you put him in a demon party, 50% more magic damage, absolutely huge. And then his leadership ability is kind of subpar in my opinion. It increases lifesteal of all demons by 20% and a 30% chance to apply slow for 2 turns when inflicting a debuff on the enemy. It's just kind of lackluster. It's not terrible. Definitely seen worse leadership abilities, but it is not the best by any stretch of the imagination. Looking at his stats, he comes in and his speed is 145, so middle tier, middle of the road. Health and shield combination is at 42k, so he's not the worst, he's not the best. We kind of got to add a little bit there, but definitely seen worse. Magic damage is very good to start with 3063. His armor, especially his magic armor, is fantastic to start. Critical chance at 20.2% is kind of crap. Potency is at 7 though. Big drawback there because you want him to inflict those stuns and debuffs and things like that. So that is a big drawback for Shadar. So where do I have Shadar ranked? So looking at Shadar's move kit, we have some really good moves, definitely dependent on potency. He comes in at a 7. Magic damage is pretty good, armor is excellent, and you kind of lose his passive if you don't put him with a demon party. But Shadar still comes in as a rare for me. He's a lower tier rare, but the fact that he can inflict a stun, he's giving himself debuff immunity, he's giving 50% turn meter to all of his allies, not even just demons. And the fact that he can increase his magic damage by 50% in a demon party is huge. Also, what you have to know is if you have not played with Shadar, he takes your demon squad to another level. He is super good inside a demon squad. His leadership ability is not the best for demons. We'll be getting to that later. But all in all, he is just an extremely good character and really changes the faction. That's why he is a rare for me. Next up on the list, we have Slinger. Slinger is a demon fighter, warrior, and a leader. And I did say that we would talk about a better leadership than Shadar for demons, and here it is. I am in love with Slinger, and I have to put my bias aside for him, but he is just extremely good. So let's take a look at his move kit. Basic ability, 250 physical damage with a 50% chance to decrease the target's turn meter by 10%. 1 and 2 shot, both potency tenacity checks, and you're only doing it by 10%. Okay, in my opinion. Not the best, not the worst, but you got a chance. Little Slingshot, 370 physical damage, and inflicts a damage decrease for 2 turns. 1 potency tenacity check, 370 physical damage is big, and a damage decrease is extremely nice. His Cannonball is absolutely amazing, 250 physical damage, and if he crits, he removes 1 buff from each enemy he crits against, so it has the potential to be a mass AoE dispel. The damage on this move, though, is a little low, only coming in at 250. His passive ability gains a damage decrease, critical chance increase, or a critical damage increase for 1 turn at the end of his turn. So that plays into his move kit. You're hoping he gets that crit chance increase, but all in all, just a fantastic move based on his move kit. Then his leadership ability, all allied demons gain 20% of their max health. Every time they suffer a critical hit, all allies recover 5% of their turn meter. Allied demons recover twice as much. So this ability, you're increasing the survivability of your team, you're feeding them turn meter, especially in the AoE, and with him his leadership completely maxed out, demons become a viable option, and they are the second best complete team in this game in my opinion. So very good leadership. Looking at his stats, his max speed is 159, that is phenomenal. His health and shield combination is at 45k, not the best, not the worst. Almost 50k to start though, so that's definitely a plus. His physical damage is at 2718, so kind of on the lower middle range there, so definitely wish that was better, but all in all, not bad. His physical and magical armor are pretty much dead center middle. He does have a potency of 33% though, so that is a really good spot to start because you want him to inflict those debuffs. So that really helps out. And his critical chance is at 30.2%, which is phenomenal because that plays into his Cannonball move. So I'm really glad he started with a higher critical chance. So with that being said, where do I have Slinger? Now looking at Slinger, I do love this character, and I like a lot of things about him. At a rare for me. Just because his leadership is the best one for demons. He does have the potential to mass dispel. He has very good base speed. And he can reduce turn meter on his basic, even though it only is 10%. That is something big on a basic ability. And he really does make the demons viable with his leadership. All in all, he deserves to be a rare in my opinion, just for what he can bring to the table. And he does have some plug and play viability because of his dispel. And he is an order, so putting him with a Soleus combination, that could really help out. So all in all, definitely a rare. Not a top end rare, but definitely a rare. Next up on the list we have Mega Wheel. He is the defender and a gladiator. He is your tank defender for the demon squad. So let's take a look at his move kit. He deals 230 physical damage and applies a stack of pain for 1 turn. 1 potency tenacity check there on the pain. His second ability, he gains taunt, cheat death for 2 turns, removes 2 debuffs, and recovers 25% of his health. This is a fantastic taunting mechanism, giving yourself cheat death for 2 turns. You're removing 2 of your debuffs on yourself, and you're recovering 25% of your health, so just absolutely fantastic for him. Then you call that a hit. He deals 220 physical damage to all enemies, removes all stacks of pain, and does an extra 50% of physical damage for each stack of pain removed. So, all in all, not terrible, not the best. He's a defender, so his physical damage, you can break 3,000, but he's still not doing a lot of damage to help out your team. And his passive ability increases his crit chance by 6% for each living demon in the party. Not the best, not the worst. So let's take a look at his stats. Mega Wheel has a base speed of 120. That's not terrible for a defender at all. His health and shield combination is fantastic at 65k, so he is super tanky. His physical damage is at 2841, so pretty good. Critical chance is at 18%, but he does get that on his passive. His potency is at a 0. That really takes away from him and his viability. You know, his move kit is so dependent on that pain, and with a potency of 0, that really takes away from what he can do. So let's see where I have Mega Wheel ranked. So all in all, we're looking at Mega Wheel. And to me, Mega Wheel comes in as a trash character, and here's why. And I didn't mention he has really good armor. He has really good survivability. But his move kit is so dependent on the pain. And with a 0 potency, it's really just a shame that, or much like Vorian the Trickster, just needs that potency, doesn't get it. And the other thing that makes him a trash character, in my opinion, and I don't really talk about this quite often, is the gear requirements into Mega Wheel to get him as tanky as you need him. He is just a gear hog and is just, it's so frustrating because you need him in a demon Alright, next up on the list we have Xantera. Now, Xantera is the demon healer. She is also a traveler. She is the second best healer in the game in my opinion. And let's get into her move kit and stats and you'll find out why. Xantera's first move, Hell's Whip, 200% of magic damage and heals the ally with the lowest health by 100% of the magic damage dealt. So, what that does for her is as a healer, she's healing on her basic while doing damage. It's definitely huge plus for her. Really like how that works into her move kit. Second ability, Sacrifice. She sacrifices 25% of her health to heal all allies by 500% of her magic damage. So she is extremely dependent on her magic damage. I don't really like that she sacrifices her own health, kind of taking down her viability a touch, but still healing all allies by 500% of her magic damage is awesome. Then she has her Kiss of Death, where she deals 330 magic damage to an enemy and then recovers the same amount of her health. So you're using her sacrifice, then her Kiss of Death to restore that health. 330% magic damage and then recovering her own health for that amount. It's pretty nice. Then her passive, she restores 1 turn of a random ability at the start of her turn and then restores 1 turn of a random ally's ability. So this is really, really good. She's decreasing her own cooldowns and then decreasing a random ally's cooldown. So again, just absolutely phenomenal. Love that passive. The only thing that could make this passive just a touch better for me is if it played into her healing aspect, but it actually kind of does. So really, really good move for her. Looking at her stats, she has a base speed of 140, so that's on the low end, and we want our healers fast, so that's kind of a drawback for me. Her health and shield combination come in at 52k to start, so that is absolutely huge. Her magic damage is at 3048 to start. Humongous. That is just fantastic. Potency's at 33%. We really don't need it. Critical chance at 18%. Again, really don't need it. And her armor, her magic armor is extremely good. And her physical armor is not bad, so that is a big plus for her. So where do I have Xantera ranked? So looking at Xantera, she is just a healer and she is vital to the demon composition in my opinion, and she comes in as a rare for sure. What she brings to the table as far as her heals, she's restoring her own cooldowns, she's restoring cooldowns on a random ally, can be used outside of the demon faction in a heartbeat. There is no problem there. Her low base speed can be compensated for because she does already have a very good starting magic damage. So you can put the speed runes on, much like you saw here. I have speed runes on her, got her up to 187 speed. And she still does some really good keeping people alive with her magic damage, but you could definitely go damage to increase that healing. Looking for speed in the secondaries. So she is definitely a rare. Not top tier rare. She is much like a Patriarch Chi, where she just does enough to make her not an uncommon to get into the rare class. So definitely a rare in my opinion. Great character. Next up on the list, we probably have the most popular demon that everybody knows about, and that is Kyra. Kyra is a demon fighter, ranger, and bounty hunter. She is cream of the crop arena character. So let's take a look at her move kit. 230 physical damage with a 50% chance to inflict ability block for 2 turns. Double potency tenacity check, but the chance to inflict an ability block on your basic is just huge. Absolutely huge. Ability 2, Hail of Arrows, 240 physical damage to all enemies with a 30% chance to daze for 2 turns if this ability deals damage. Double potency tenacity check again. but daze, fantastic. The damage is kind of low though, coming in at 240, so that's really the drawback there. And then her move, everybody knows, Go Dark, gives everybody stealth except for the defender, which gives them counter a chance and restores 25% turn meter to all allies. Then she has some synergy with Venomate if he's on the battlefield. This move can cripple you in the arena. It is very good with a Mega Wheel, because Mega Wheel will counter, trying to spread that pain, which makes it even better. Just a super well-designed move, and extremely frustrating and extremely annoying. And then her passive works so good into her move kit. When she is invisible, her attacks deal 30% more damage, and if Venomate is in the party, he receives the same buff. So just absolutely phenomenal. Just super, super good passive ability. She has such a well-designed kit. It just works into everything that she tries to do. Every move benefits pretty much everything. Just very well-built character. So looking at her stats, she has a base speed of 140, lower middle end. Definitely want her to go as fast as we can. But all in all, we can work with it. Physical damage is great at 3065. Her health and shield combination is at 46k, so definitely a good place to start. 46k isn't bad. Her magic armor, again, is just phenomenal, that is a theme with the demons. Physical armor is middle of the road. Critical chance is at 27%, and her potency is at 36%, which is really good. So where do I have Kyra ranked? There shouldn't be a question about it. Kyra comes in as a rare. She is a high tier rare. She has super plug and play viability. Her move kit is so well designed. She works perfect in a demon composition. She is still running the arena today. She can be put into a goblin comp. She can be put into the human comp. She is just a very well built character, and she will be meta for quite some time. Definitely deserving the rare status. Next up, we have Puncherface. Puncherface is a fighter, warrior, and a traveler. Puncherface is a really annoying character because of one specific move. So let's get into his move kit. Basic deals 240 physical damage with a 65% chance to recover 20% of their turn meter. Okay, damage 240 on a basic's not bad. 65% to recover 20% turn meter. Definitely will work on a basic. Not in the face, 400% of physical damage with a 50% chance to gain haste for 2 turns. Not terrible. I wish it was at level 6 that he gains haste. Even if it was for 1 turn, he would gain haste. Then his Earthquake is the move he's known for, where he does an AoE and applies Taunt for 2 turns to all enemies going through 1 potency tenacity check. So this move can destroy you if it's done right, and it all lands. So it takes people out of stealth, just gets around the tank. Just a very annoying move. And then his haste ability, where he increases his own speed by 20. Pretty much a northwestern speed rune put onto him, so you can make him extremely fast. Looking at his stats, he has a base speed of 139. He's giving himself 20 if you have his passive ability maxed out. So you're starting at 159. Very, very good place to start. Then his health and shield combination come in at 45k, so definitely a good place to start. His magic armor, this is the only real demon with a terrible magical armor. He gets shredded by magic dealing Nightingales, Freezards, Embers, just can obliterate him. Physical armor is very average. His critical chance is at 24%, so not terrible, and his physical damage comes in at 2870, definitely workable. His potency is at 25%, so definitely middle of the road. So where do I have Puncherface ranked? Puncherface for me comes in as a common character. He is much like that of Eric Shieldbreaker. Foul has one really good move, and then really does nothing else to set him apart. He is a higher end common for sure. Borderline very low uncommon, but I believe he falls into the common category. He can give himself haste at a 50% clip, but there's nothing you can do to change that. You either get it or you don't. Potency, 25. You need that for those taunts to stick, but you want him to do damage. He's one of those characters where you got to decide, do you want him fast, do you want him to have more potency, do you want him to do the damage. It's just, all in all, I hate making those decisions when they make you do that for a character. You really don't see him outside of a demon comp very often. It can be done, but all in all, I do feel he is deserving to be a very high common character. And last but not least, we have Venomate, a tactician, rogue, and bounty hunter. Venomate is an interesting character, and I'll get into that. So let's start with his move kit. Deals 250 magic damage to an enemy, an 80% chance to poison the target for 2 turns. If Kyra is on the battlefield, there's a 50% chance she'll be called in to assist. So synergy with Kyra, which we saw from her move kit, puts on the poison at an 80% chance. At level 6, I really feel this should be 100% and only go through the 1 potency tenacity check, but it isn't. You have to go through 2. Kind of a bummer. Poisonous Cloud, 230 magic damage to all enemies, poisons the targets for 2 turns. So here we have the 1 potency tenacity check, but for an AoE 230, very low damage. What's your poison? He applies a crit damage increase, counterattack, and critical chance increase to an ally for 2 turns, and then restores 75% of the ally's turn meter. This is a great move. Cooldown is very high though, so fantastic move overall though. It's his best move. Then his passive ability, Poison Master, he deals 20% more damage for each stack of poison on enemies. If Kyra is on the battlefield, she receives the same buff. Okay. Not terrible, not good. Plays into his move kit well. And again, we see the synergy with Kyra. Looking at his stats, he has a base speed of 129. That is defender range. It's just terrible. Don't really care for where he is there. Health and shield combination come in at 34, 35k, that range. Extremely squishy. Can be killed extremely fast. His magic damage is at 28, 27, so not bad. His magic armor is again very good. Physical armor is kind of on the lower side, lower middle of the road. His critical chance is only at 18.2%. That is pretty bad. And then his potency is at 15%. Horrendous potency for a character that needs so much potency. Again, we see it much like Mega Wheel. 15. Awful. Awful. So where do I have Venomate ranked? So looking at Venomate, we have another character here who is so dependent on potency but doesn't have any. He has terrible speed, but he does have some moves that could definitely benefit the team, and he's just really not as viable without Kyra on the team. So that makes Venomate a common character for me. He is not trash. He brings better things to the table than any of those trash characters. He is a very low common, but definitely is not trash. But he's just extremely squishy, low potency, but does have great synergy with Kyra and can be run mid-arena to help out that synergy with Kyra. So I was torn between him as a trash or a common, but I don't think he's a trash. Definitely a common. So that's where I have him ranked. So everybody, there is the finishing of my tier list for demons, and on your screen is where everybody sits. We have 4 legendaries: Soleus, Tromgar, Hardork, and Murdoch. We have 12 rares: Freezard, Cruel, Little Baddie, Nightail, Patriarch Chi, Kinley, Ember, Amara, Shadar, Slinger, Thantera, and Kyra. We have 12 uncommons in Snorri, Wonderlua, Lake, Rin the Unseen, Rantha, Major Shot, Inspector Goram, Reval, Salvador, Renara, Yogi, and Bori. Then we have 15 common characters in Robin Bad, Eric Shieldbreaker, Aurelia, Thalia, Sharp, Hilda, Fow, Mortha, Mar, Dieselrog, Sergeant Pigwald, Hera, Kagi, Puncherface, and Venomate. Then trash, we have 10 with Darian, Kelrin, Sinjil, Master Duo, Shaolin, Corkram, Adam, Old Lore, Vorian the Trickster, and Mega Wheel. So that is what I have for everybody. This was a lot funner than I thought, but took a lot of time to make, so I hope you all enjoyed it out there. What I'm going to be doing is, after this video is posted on my Discord channel, in each of the factions channels, I will have a picture of just that faction in that channel. So that is what I have for you guys. So ever close to that 650 mark. Hit that subscribe button. Join the family. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.